here. Hope you're having a great day. So I've got one of my favorite bridles here, this whole setup. Look at this head stall, that cool rawhide right there. Got rawhide up on the ear loop here. Got these awesome cowboy buckles right there on both sides. Got a great bit here. Love the port on this, great shanks. Got a copper roller so whiskey can play with it and keep your focus. And what I like most about this whole setup is the cowboy reins. These things are substantial, they're heavy. I mean, look at how thick those are all the way around. These are substantial, heavy cowboy reins. I've only got one problem with them, and we're gonna address that issue today. Let's see if you can see what it is. Look at the ends there. You see that action? Maybe you can see it better on this one. You see that? That is an unsafe situation right there. Those can snap and break off at any time, especially some of the crazy things that we end up doing. So we're gonna address that. First thing we're gonna do here is I'm actually gonna take off, what is that, about a foot of these box ends of this rein. So we're basically where the weak point is right here on the rein. We're just gonna cut the leather right there. Same thing on this rein, cut the leathers right there. And then we're gonna end up using water loops or rein ends to repurpose this rein to be able to use. These are water loops. These are what we're gonna use. These are replacement rein ends, and essentially we're gonna take this box end of the rein. We're gonna cut the leather here, as I talked about. We're gonna insert these water loops that got this leather string here, and basically that's gonna become the new end of the rein on both sides of the bit. All right, I've cut the two ends of both reins, and essentially what we're gonna do now is take each of these, we're gonna take a water loop, we're gonna punch holes right in the end of the rein right there, run these leather strings through there, tie them off, and then we're gonna hook this onto the shanks of the bit, and we should be good to go. All right, as you can see, I've punched two holes right here, and those holes line up perfectly with the two holes in the water loop. And essentially you can do this with any, if I've got a hole punch that I use, but basically any way you want to make those holes in there is great. I think a hole punch is the best, it's the easiest, and it's the cleanest. A Leatherman would probably tell you the same thing, but if you don't have a hole punch, you got to use what you want to use. So what we're going to do next is we're going to essentially take these leather strings and run them through the holes that we just punched. Just like that. So, and I'll be honest with you, these are tight, so it's difficult to get through. I actually pull them through with my teeth. Don't tell my dentist, but that's the easiest way to get them through there. And here's a little bit of a pro tip. You want to make sure that the outside of the rein, if you care about this, and you want it to look good, make sure that the outside of the rein is facing to the outside of your bridle and your headstall. So I put the inside, the water loop, on the inside first. And then here's the real pro tip. Before you fold this over, push these leather strings through again and tie this whole thing off, make sure that you actually put it through the lower ring on the shank of the bit. That'll just make it a lot easier so that you don't have to take it off again. So the next thing we're gonna do is run these strings back through that other end of the water. Just like that. And then all you gotta do is tie these leather strings off, overhand knot like that. And I like to leave mine on there. You can cut them off if you want, but I like to leave a little bit on there. I think it is better. It actually worked pretty well for getting the flies off when it's flying around. And it's actually, if you need some of this extra, if you have some of the spaghetti string that breaks and you don't have any other in your saddle bag, you can actually, if you have enough of this left, you can retie it. There's both water loops on. The knots are double knotted. The string is to the outside of the headstall, so it's away from the horse's nose. Same thing on this side. And then we've got our bit and it's ready to go. So basically we've taken a great set of reins, and just because they had a little weakness at a weak point, we've been able to repurpose them, and they'll get many more years of use with these new water loops. The thing I like about them is if something's gonna break on this setup, it's probably gonna be these strings. So just make sure you carry extra strings with you if you're worried about that. But these should last a good long time, and we'll see you down the road.